Ladies and gentlemen, today I invite you to embark on a journey not of distance, but of transformation within. Imagine for a moment that your mind is a fertile garden. Every thought you hold is a seed, and with every moment of focus you water and nourish those seeds. What will your garden look like tomorrow, next year, or in 10 years? The answer lies in the seeds you choose to plant today. Belief is the foundation upon which our reality is built. Every thought we hold, every emotion we experience, and every action we take is deeply rooted in what we believe to be true about ourselves and the world. These beliefs are not merely passive observations, they are active forces that shape how we perceive and interact with reality. They are the silent architects of our lives, influencing our decisions, our relationships, and even our potential for growth and success. From the moment we are born, we begin absorbing beliefs from our surroundings. Family, culture, education, and personal experiences create a framework within which we operate. While some of these beliefs serve us well, providing structure and meaning, others can act as barriers. These limiting beliefs whisper you can't, it's not possible, or you're not enough. Over time, they become ingrained in our subconscious, operating like software running in the background, dictating how we respond to life. But what if these beliefs are not absolute truths? What if they are simply agreements we have made with ourselves based on past experiences? Understanding this is the first step toward transformation. Neuroscience shows us that our brains are not fixed, they are incredibly adaptable, a quality known as neuroplasticity. This means that even deeply rooted beliefs can be changed. The key lies in awareness and intention. To shift our beliefs, we must first identify them. This requires a level of introspection that many avoid, as it can be uncomfortable to confront long-held assumptions. However, it is essential to ask, what do I believe about myself, about my abilities, about the possibilities available to me? Are these beliefs empowering or restrictive? Often, the answers reveal that many of our beliefs were formed during moments of vulnerability or fear, and they no longer serve the person we have become. Once we become aware of these limiting beliefs, we can begin the process of redefinition. This is where the power of conscious thought comes into play. Thoughts are the building blocks of belief. When repeated often enough, thoughts gain emotional weight, becoming entrenched in the subconscious. To change a belief, we must intentionally replace old thoughts with new ones aligned with the reality we wish to create. For example, instead of thinking, "I always fail," we can choose, "I am capable of learning and succeeding." At first, this might feel unnatural or even false, but over time, with repetition and emotional reinforcement, the brain begins to accept this new narrative. Science supports this process. Studies in neuropsychology reveal that focused, intentional thought can create new neural pathways in the brain. These pathways are like roads at first. They are faint trails, but with repeated use, they become well-worn highways, making the new belief easier to access and integrate. This rewiring doesn't happen overnight. It requires patience and persistence. However, every moment spent in conscious effort brings us closer to aligning our internal world with the external reality we desire. It's also important to understand the role of emotion in this process. Beliefs are not just intellectual concepts, they are deeply emotional. The brain remembers experiences more vividly when they are charged with strong emotions, whether positive or negative. This is why simply thinking a new thought is not enough. To create lasting change, we must feel the truth of the new belief as though it is already our reality. For example, if we want to adopt the belief, "I am worthy of success," we must not only think it, but also allow ourselves to feel the excitement, pride, and gratitude that come with success. Another critical aspect of shifting beliefs is taking action. Belief alone, no matter how strong, must be accompanied by behavior that reinforces it. Action bridges the gap between intention and reality. Even small steps, speaking up in a meeting, taking a course to develop a skill, or simply saying yes to opportunities can reinforce the new belief, solidifying it further in our subconscious. As we continue this practice, the outer world begins to mirror our inner transformation. People, opportunities, and circumstances that align with our new mindset start to appear. This is not magic. It is the result of shifting focus and energy. By believing in our potential, we unconsciously seek and attract experiences that validate those beliefs. The power of belief lies in its ability to shape our reality. When we understand this, we reclaim control over our lives. We move from being passive participants, reacting to circumstances, to active creators of our experience. The question is not whether we have the ability to change our beliefs, but whether we are willing to do the work. Are we ready to challenge old narratives and embrace a mindset that aligns with our highest potential? When we are, we unlock a reservoir of power and possibility that can transform not only our own lives, but also the lives of those around us. Belief, after all, is the foundation of all transformation. It is the seed from which everything else grows. The idea that our thoughts can rewire the brain and influence outcomes is not just an abstract concept, it is a principle grounded in science. At its core, this idea rests on the concept of neuroplasticity, the brain's remarkable ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. This means that our brains are not static structures, they are dynamic, ever-changing systems capable of adapting to new thoughts, behaviors, and experiences. When we understand this, we realize that the potential for change is not limited by age, circumstance, or past experiences. Instead, it is only limited by the effort we are willing to put into consciously shaping our thoughts. Consider this: every thought we think triggers a cascade of neural activity. When we think the same thoughts repeatedly, we strengthen specific neural pathways, much like walking the same path in a field creates a visible trail. Over time, these well-worn paths become our default ways of thinking and responding. This is how habits, mindsets, and patterns are formed through repetition. Unfortunately, this also means that if our repeated thoughts are negative, self-critical, or rooted in fear, they will reinforce neural pathways that perpetuate those same negative patterns. The good news is that we can consciously intervene in this process. By choosing new, empowering thoughts and focusing on them with intention and consistency, we can create entirely new neural pathways. Imagine forging a new trail in that same field. At first, it requires effort as the path is not yet clear. But with each step, it becomes easier to follow, and over time, it becomes the new default. The brain works in much the same way. When we repeatedly think thoughts of possibility, hope, and self-worth, we weaken the old pathways of limitation and strengthen the new ones. This process is not only supported by neuroscience, but also by quantum principles. At a quantum level, everything is made up of energy, and our thoughts are no exception. Every thought carries a vibrational frequency that interacts with the energy around us. When we focus our thoughts on a specific outcome, we are not just imagining it, we are sending out an energetic signal that aligns with the possibility of that outcome. This is why intentional thought, combined with emotion, can create powerful shifts. By aligning our internal energy with the reality we desire, we increase the likelihood of that reality manifesting in our external world. The connection between thoughts and outcomes is also evident in the way our thoughts influence our perception. The human brain processes an overwhelming amount of information every second, but we can only consciously focus on a small fraction of it. What we focus on is largely determined by our mental filters, our beliefs, assumptions, and expectations. These filters act like lenses, shaping how we interpret the world. For example, if we hold the belief that opportunities are scarce, our brain will filter out evidence of abundance, making it harder for us to see or act on opportunities that might be right in front of us. Conversely, if we shift our belief to opportunities are everywhere, we begin to notice possibilities that we previously overlooked. In this way, our thoughts and beliefs don't just influence how we feel, they shape our reality by guiding our attention, choices, and actions. A person who believes in their potential will naturally take more risks, embrace challenges, and persist in the face of setbacks, all behaviors that increase their chances of success. On the other hand, a person who doubts their abilities will avoid risks, give up easily, and miss opportunities, reinforcing their initial belief in their own limitations. This is a self-fulfilling cycle, but it is one we have the power to break. The key to leveraging this understanding lies in consistency and emotion. It is not enough to occasionally think positive thoughts or set intentions. To rewire the brain, we must practice these new ways of thinking daily, embedding them into our subconscious. Furthermore, thoughts paired with emotion are far more impactful. Emotion acts as a signal booster, intensifying the neural and energetic impact of a thought. For example, if you visualize a desired outcome such as achieving a goal and simultaneously feel the joy, gratitude, or excitement of that achievement, you are creating a powerful blueprint for the brain to follow. This scientific and energetic interplay between thought and outcome shows us that we are not victims of circumstance, we are co-creators of our reality. While external factors do play a role in our lives, our internal world has far more influence than we often realize. By consciously choosing our thoughts and aligning them with the outcomes we desire, we can reshape our brains, our energy, and ultimately, our lives. Understanding the science of change empowers us to take responsibility for our future. It reminds us that every thought we think is an opportunity to create a new reality. With awareness, intention, and practice, we can move beyond old patterns, align with our highest potential, and step into a life that reflects our truest desires. The process may require effort and perseverance, but the reward is profound, the ability to consciously design a life of purpose, fulfillment, and possibility. Our lives are often a reflection of the patterns we unconsciously repeat. These patterns, habits of thought, emotion, and behavior are deeply ingrained, largely shaped by past experiences and maintained through repetition. While they provide a sense of familiarity and predictability, they also act as invisible boundaries, limiting our potential for growth and change. Breaking these old patterns is essential for stepping into a life of greater possibility, yet it requires conscious effort, self-awareness, and a willingness to move beyond the comfort of the known. Most of us live on autopilot more than we realize. Neuroscience shows that the majority of our thoughts and behaviors are not the result of conscious decision-making, but are driven by subconscious programs. These programs are established over time through repetition and emotional reinforcement. When a particular thought or behavior is repeated frequently, the brain forms neural pathways that make it easier to default to that pattern. This efficiency is helpful for basic tasks like brushing our teeth or driving a car, but it becomes problematic when the patterns we've created are disempowering. If you've developed a habit of thinking, "I'm not good enough," your brain has likely formed strong neural connections around this belief. This thought may then trigger emotions like shame or self-doubt, which in turn reinforce behaviors such as avoiding challenges or opportunities. Over time, this cycle solidifies, creating a self-fulfilling loop where the belief appears to be true simply because it is repeated so often. The same is true for other limiting patterns, whether they involve procrastination, fear of failure, or unhealthy relationships. Breaking free from these cycles begins with awareness. You cannot change what you are not aware of. This requires stepping back and observing your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors without judgment. Pay attention to the moments when you feel stuck, frustrated, or unfulfilled. Ask yourself, what patterns might be contributing to this? What recurring thoughts or emotions am I experiencing? Often these patterns are so automatic that they go unnoticed, but with practice, you can learn to identify them. Once you've recognized a pattern, the next step is to disrupt it. This is where discomfort often arises because the brain is wired to resist change. It craves the predictability of old habits, even when those habits are harmful. Disrupting a pattern requires stepping outside your comfort zone and doing something different. For example, if your default response to stress is to withdraw, try reaching out to a trusted friend or practicing mindfulness instead. If you're used to avoiding risks, challenge yourself to take one small, calculated risk. These deliberate actions create moments of disruption, interrupting the old neural pathways and creating space for new ones. Another powerful way to break patterns is by shifting your emotional state. Patterns are not just cognitive, they are deeply tied to emotions. For instance, if a certain situation triggers fear or frustration, that emotional response reinforces the pattern. By consciously cultivating elevated emotions such as gratitude, joy, or curiosity, you can begin to weaken the grip of negative patterns. For example, if you're caught in a cycle of self-doubt, take a moment to reflect on something you've accomplished in the past that makes you feel proud. This emotional shift not only disrupts the old pattern, but also sets the stage for creating a new one. The key to replacing old patterns is consistency. It's not enough to disrupt a pattern once. You must replace it with a new, empowering habit and reinforce it over time. This process is like planting a new seed in a garden. At first, the seed is fragile and requires careful attention. You must water it regularly and ensure it receives enough sunlight. Similarly, a new habit or belief must be practiced consistently until it becomes the new default. This requires patience, as the brain doesn't rewire itself overnight. However, with persistence, the old pathways weaken and the new ones become stronger. Visualization can also be a valuable tool in breaking old patterns. The brain does not distinguish strongly between real and imagined experiences. When you vividly imagine yourself behaving in a new way, you activate the same neural circuits as if you were actually doing it. Over time, this mental rehearsal can help to rewire the brain, making it easier to adopt new behaviors in real life. For example, if you're working to overcome a fear of public speaking, visualize yourself standing confidently on stage, speaking with clarity and ease. This practice helps to replace the fear response with a sense of calm and confidence. It's important to remember that breaking old patterns is not a linear process. There will be setbacks, moments when you fall back into old habits. This is normal and does not mean you failed. What matters is your willingness to get back on track and continue the work. Each time you disrupt a pattern, even if only for a moment, you are creating a ripple of change that will grow over time. Breaking old patterns is about reclaiming your power. It's about recognizing that you are not a prisoner of your past or your subconscious programming. You have the ability to choose how you think, feel, and act in any given moment. By identifying and breaking free from the patterns that no longer serve you, you open the door to new possibilities and create the conditions for personal transformation. It is through this conscious effort that you step into the life you truly desire, a life defined not by the past, but by the limitless potential of the present and future. The present moment is the most powerful space we can occupy, because it is the only place where change, creation, and transformation can truly occur. Yet so many of us spend our lives disconnected from it, either dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. When we are caught in these mental loops, we lose touch with the now, and in doing so, we lose access to our ability to shape our reality. Living in the present is not just a philosophical idea, it is a practice rooted in science and mindfulness that holds the potential to rewire our brains, elevate our emotional states, and open the door to new possibilities. The human brain has a remarkable capacity for memory and imagination, but this strength can also become a trap. The past often holds memories of pain, failure, or regret, and we replay these moments in our minds as though they are still happening. Each time we revisit a painful memory, our brain doesn't distinguish between the event and our recollection of it. The same stress hormones are released, and the same emotional reactions are triggered as if we were reliving the experience. This keeps us stuck in a cycle where the past continually defines the present. The future can become a source of anxiety and fear. We project uncertainties onto the days, months, or years ahead, creating imagined scenarios that may never come to pass. These projections trigger the brain's stress response, flooding our bodies with adrenaline and cortisol. The irony is that in both cases, dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, we are not truly living. We are absent from the one place where life is actually happening, the present. When we bring our attention fully into the present moment, we free ourselves from these mental prisons. The present is a space of pure potential. It is where we can observe our thoughts without judgment, choose our responses consciously, and take deliberate actions that align with our goals and values. The present moment is also where we can break free from the automatic patterns of the past, as it offers us the clarity and awareness needed to see things as they truly are. Living in the present begins with awareness. Many of us go through our days on autopilot, reacting to external events without pausing to consider our thoughts, feelings, or actions. Mindfulness is a powerful tool for cultivating present moment awareness. It involves intentionally focusing your attention on the here and now, whether that's through observing your breath, feeling the sensations in your body, or simply noticing the sights and sounds around you. This practice helps quiet the mental chatter that pulls us into the past or the future, allowing us to anchor ourselves in the present. One of the most profound benefits of living in the present is the way it impacts the brain. Neuroscience has shown that mindfulness practices can physically alter the brain, increasing the density of the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for decision-making, emotional regulation, and self-awareness. At the same time, it reduces the activity of the amygdala, the brain's fear center. This means that by training ourselves to live in the present, we not only feel calmer and more focused, but also become better equipped to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. The present moment also has the power to transform our emotional state. When we are fully present, we can experience gratitude, joy, and connection in a way that is often impossible when our minds are elsewhere. Consider the simple act of eating a meal. When you're distracted scrolling through your phone or thinking about your to-do list, you might hardly notice the flavors, textures, or aromas of the food. But when you eat mindfully, paying attention to each bite, the experience becomes richer and more satisfying. This same principle applies to every aspect of life. Whether it's spending time with loved ones, working on a creative project, or walking in nature, being fully present enhances the experience and deepens our sense of fulfillment. Living in the present also allows us to tap into our creative potential. Creativity doesn't thrive in a mind cluttered with regrets or fears. It flourishes when we are fully engaged in the moment, open to new ideas and perspectives. In the present, we can connect with our intuition, that inner voice that guides us toward what feels true and aligned. This intuitive guidance often leads us to solutions, insights, and opportunities that we might have missed if our minds were preoccupied. Perhaps most importantly, the present moment is where we access the power to choose. In each moment, we have the ability to decide how we will think, feel, and act. This is where true freedom lies, not in controlling external circumstances, but in choosing our internal response. When we are fully present, we are no longer bound by the patterns of the past or the fears of the future. We can consciously create our experience moment by moment. The journey to living in the present is not always easy. Our minds are accustomed to wandering, and it takes practice to bring them back to the here and now. There will be times when you find yourself pulled into old memories or future worries, and that's okay. The key is to gently bring your attention back again and again without judgment. Each time you do, you strengthen your ability to live in the present, and over time it becomes more natural. Living in the present moment is a gift we can give ourselves every day. It is a practice that not only transforms our relationship with ourselves, but also with the world around us. When we are present, we see life more clearly, connect with others more deeply, and engage with our purpose more fully. The present moment is where life happens. It is where change begins, and it is where we become the creators of our own reality. The relationship between emotion and reality is profound and often underestimated. Emotions are not just fleeting feelings. They are powerful forces that shape how we perceive the world, the decisions we make, and ultimately the life we create. The emotions we consistently experience act as signals to the brain and body, influencing our behavior, relationships, and outcomes. When we understand this connection and learn to consciously cultivate emotions that align with the reality we desire, we unlock a transformative ability to shape our experiences in profound ways. Every emotion we feel is a chemical and energetic experience. When you feel joy, gratitude, or love, your brain releases chemicals like dopamine and oxytocin, which create feelings of well-being and connection. Conversely, when you feel fear, anger, or sadness, stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline flood your system, preparing your body for fight or flight. While these reactions are natural and serve a purpose, they can become problematic when we remain stuck in negative emotional states for prolonged periods. Chronic stress, for instance, doesn't just affect your mood, it impacts your health, decision-making, and even how you perceive opportunities and challenges. The emotions we experience frequently become the foundation of our personal reality. For example, if someone consistently feels frustrated, their perception of the world is filtered through that frustration. They are more likely to notice situations that align with that emotion, reinforcing the belief that life is difficult or unfair. This is not just a psychological phenomenon, but a neurological one. The brain becomes wired to expect and respond to certain emotions, creating a feedback loop that perpetuates the same experiences. On the other hand, when we cultivate positive, elevated emotions such as gratitude, excitement, or peace, we create a very different feedback loop. These emotions signal to the brain that life is safe, fulfilling, and abundant, which influences not only our perception, but also the opportunities we attract. This is where the concept of coherence comes into play. When our thoughts, emotions, and actions are aligned with positive states, we enter a state of coherence. In this state, the brain and heart operate in harmony, improving mental clarity, intuition, and overall well-being. Understanding the power of emotion begins with recognizing that we are not passive recipients of our feelings. While external events may trigger emotions, we have the ability to choose how we respond. This choice gives us incredible power to shift our emotional state and, by extension, our reality. For instance, if you notice yourself feeling anxious about an upcoming challenge, you can consciously redirect your focus to gratitude for the opportunity or confidence in your ability to adapt. This doesn't mean denying or suppressing negative emotions, but rather acknowledging them and then consciously choosing a more empowering state. One of the most effective ways to cultivate positive emotions is through the practice of gratitude. Gratitude is a particularly powerful emotion because it shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have. When we feel grateful, we signal to the brain that life is abundant and that we are supported. This not only creates a sense of well-being, but also trains the brain to look for more reasons to feel grateful, reinforcing the cycle. Studies have shown that practicing gratitude regularly can lead to improved mental health, stronger relationships, and even physical health benefits such as reduced inflammation and better sleep. Visualization is another potent tool for leveraging the connection between emotion and reality. When you vividly imagine a desired outcome and pair it with the emotions you would feel if it were already achieved, you create a mental and emotional blueprint for that reality. For example, if you're aiming to advance in your career, take time to visualize yourself succeeding. Imagine the excitement of achieving your goals, the pride in your accomplishments, and the gratitude for the opportunities that came your way. This practice not only helps to rewire your brain, but also aligns your energy with the future you're working toward, making it more likely to manifest. Breathwork and mindfulness practices can also help regulate and elevate emotions. Deep, intentional breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, signaling to your body that it is safe to relax. This shift can help interrupt patterns of stress or negativity and create space for more positive emotions to emerge. Similarly, mindfulness helps you become aware of your emotional states without being controlled by them. By observing your emotions with curiosity rather than judgment, you create the opportunity to consciously choose how you want to feel. It's also important to recognize the ripple effect of our emotions. Emotions are contagious, spreading to those around us through subtle cues like tone of voice, facial expressions, and energy. When we cultivate positive emotions, we don't just transform our own experience, we influence the experiences of those we interact with. A simple smile, an expression of appreciation, or a moment of kindness can elevate the emotional state of others, creating a ripple of positivity that extends far beyond us. It's worth noting that cultivating empowering emotions is not about ignoring or suppressing difficult feelings. Emotions like sadness, anger, and fear are natural and valid responses to life's challenges. The key is to process these emotions in healthy ways, allowing yourself to feel and release them rather than getting stuck in them. By doing so, you create space for elevated emotions to take root, guiding you back toward alignment and coherence. The emotions we choose to cultivate shape the reality we experience. By becoming intentional about our emotional states, we take an active role in creating a life that reflects our highest aspirations. This is not just a mental exercise, it's a practice that engages the mind, body, and spirit, aligning them in harmony to create a reality of abundance, joy, and possibility. The power to transform our lives lies not in changing external circumstances, but in changing how we feel and respond within. The act of aligning thoughts, emotions, and actions with desired outcomes is not just a concept rooted in motivational thinking, but a powerful practice that taps into the mind-body connection and the laws of energy. When we align these three elements, what we think, how we feel, and what we do, we create a coherent internal state that directly influences the external reality we experience. This alignment acts as a blueprint, a focus signal that communicates our intentions to both the brain and the environment, paving the way for transformation and growth. Our thoughts are the starting point of alignment. Every thought carries energy and acts as a precursor to action and emotion. When our thoughts are scattered, unfocused, or rooted in doubt, they send conflicting signals to the brain. For example, thinking I want to succeed while simultaneously entertaining doubts like what if I fail creates internal dissonance. The brain cannot fully commit to a path of action when it receives mixed messages. However, when thoughts are clear, intentional, and focused on a desired outcome, they set the stage for clarity and alignment. Thoughts alone are not enough. They must be paired with emotions that resonate with the desired outcome. Emotions are the fuel that powers thoughts, amplifying their effect. Imagine the difference between merely thinking about a goal and feeling it as though it has already been achieved. When you think about your desired future and simultaneously feel the excitement, gratitude, or joy associated with it, you activate a powerful internal state that reinforces the belief that the outcome is not only possible but inevitable. This emotional resonance acts as a magnet, attracting opportunities and aligning your subconscious mind with the reality you wish to create. The role of emotions goes beyond mere feeling. They also signal to the body that the desired outcome is achievable. The brain and body work in tandem, and when you align your emotional state with your vision, your body begins to respond as though the outcome is already real. This phenomenon, often described as living in the end, trains your nervous system to embody the energy of success, abundance, or fulfillment even before external circumstances change. In this state, you are no longer waiting for the external world to validate your desires. Instead, you generate the internal state that aligns with them. Action is the third and critical piece of the alignment puzzle. While thoughts and emotions lay the foundation, it is through deliberate action that we bring intentions into reality. Action transforms abstract ideas into tangible results. However, not all actions are equal. Actions taken from a place of fear, doubt, or desperation are less effective and often counterproductive. Aligned action, on the other hand, is inspired and purposeful, stemming from a clear vision and a confident emotional state. Taking aligned action means moving in the direction of your goals while maintaining faith in the process. For instance, if your vision is to start a business, aligned action might involve researching your industry, building a plan, or reaching out to potential mentors. These actions are not random, but intentional steps that bring you closer to your goal. Importantly, they are accompanied by the belief that success is possible and the emotion of excitement or curiosity rather than fear or hesitation. Each step, no matter how small, reinforces the alignment between your thoughts, emotions, and actions. This triad, thoughts, emotions, and actions, also creates a feedback loop. When you take action aligned with your vision, you receive feedback from your environment. This feedback, it could come in the form of opportunities, challenges, or unexpected insights. By maintaining awareness and staying aligned, you can use this feedback to refine your approach, adjust your mindset, and continue moving forward. The process becomes dynamic and self-correcting, allowing you to remain on course even when faced with obstacles. The power of alignment is magnified when we cultivate consistency. Alignment is not a one-time event, but an ongoing practice. Each day offers an opportunity to realign with your goals by focusing your thoughts, elevating your emotions, and taking purposeful actions. This daily commitment builds momentum, strengthening the neural pathways associated with your vision and deepening your belief in its attainment. Over time, what initially required conscious effort becomes second nature as your brain and body adapt to the new pattern of alignment. It is also important to recognize that alignment is not about perfection. There will be moments when doubts creep in, emotions waver, or actions feel difficult. This is a natural part of the process. The key is to acknowledge these moments without judgment and return to alignment as soon as possible. Each time you realign, you reinforce your commitment to your vision and strengthen your ability to stay on course. Alignment is not just about achieving goals, it's about becoming the person who is capable of living the life you desire. As you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions, you transform not only your external reality, but also your internal identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who is confident, capable, and deserving of success. This shift in self-perception is perhaps the most profound outcome of alignment, as it lays the foundation for sustained growth and fulfillment. Alignment is about stepping into your power as a creator of your reality. It is about recognizing that you have the ability to influence your life not by forcing external circumstances, but by cultivating coherence within yourself. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions are in harmony, you become a force of intention, a living expression of the outcomes you desire. This is the essence of transformation, aligning with your highest potential and bringing it into the world with clarity, purpose, and unwavering belief. In the journey toward a new mindset, we uncover the profound truth that transformation begins within. Our thoughts, emotions, and actions are not separate forces, but interconnected threads weaving the fabric of our reality. To break free from the patterns of the past, we must become aware of the unconscious cycles that shape our lives and consciously disrupt them, replacing them with empowering beliefs and habits that align with the future we desire. Living in the present moment allows us to tap into the infinite potential of now. By letting go of the burdens of the past and the anxieties of the future, we center ourselves in the space where true change happens. Here we can cultivate emotions that elevate us, not only rewiring our brain, but also signaling to the universe that we are ready to receive the life we envision. Emotions are the language of creation, and when we align our inner world with the experiences we wish to manifest, we unlock the ability to reshape our outer world. Gratitude, joy, and belief become the energetic currency through which we attract opportunities, while inspired action grounds our vision in reality. This alignment of thought, feeling, and effort creates a state of coherence where our intentions become powerful, focused, and magnetic. Adopting a new mindset is not just about achieving external success, it is about becoming a person who lives with purpose, clarity, and empowerment. It is about stepping into the role of a conscious creator, aware of the limitless potential that resides within. By aligning with this truth, we not only transform our own lives, but also inspire those around us, creating a ripple effect of positive change. This is the power of a new mindset, a journey of self-discovery and self-mastery that allows us to rise beyond limitation, embody our highest potential, and create a reality that reflects the depth of our dreams. The path forward is clear. Align your thoughts, emotions, and actions, live fully in the present, and embrace the extraordinary possibilities that await. The future is yours to create, starting with the choices you make today.